good? What's good? What's good, people? We back. The virtual open mic, the attic. By the way, we about to get it in. You know what I'm saying? I want to give a shout out to everybody in advance for showing up, for showing love, and for supporting the artists on this platform. Do me a solid, man. If you like what you see here tonight or in the future, show them some love, man. Leave a like, leave a heart, leave a comment after the stream. If you want to reach out to me or any of them, you already know the energy, man. We all about uplifting and showcasing talent. So yeah, we about to get into this show, man. Tap in, like, share, subscribe to the channel, and have a good time, man.
Pyramus, Hennessy, we skid done. Christian Dior, Yves Saint Laurent. Bitch whirling that drop on the floor. Then I just hop in the rolls and scoot. Then I just hop in the rolls and scoot. Then I just hop in the rolls. I am the sickle and hammer. I am like Tony Montana. I got Betty Crocker in the trash spot, cooking up dope with a crop pot, turning that soft in a butter rock, then chewing tip when the hair drops. Bitch, my life is a movie. Surrounding myself on the Mickey's.
Yo, 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 yo. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, peoples? Happy Friday. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. Talk to me. What's good? What's good? Hey, we got a special event. This is going to be one of uh the last few that you'll see for a while from two of our favorite artists. So we want to make sure that not only are you enjoying yourself, they enjoy themselves, that this experience is everything that it's supposed to be. Um, I want to give my flowers out to them, to all of the poets, writers, artists, everybody. Just much love to you. We appreciate you. We see you. We acknowledge you. This is a day that we celebrate you and your greatness. And tonight we gonna have a good time. And you already know the vibes. If you've been here before, you already know how we get down with these open mics. Every Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to pull up, you already know the energy. Let me bring this up real quick to the people who are watching in the audience. You know how to show love. You know if you hear something that resonate with you, uh, all you got to do is let us know in the comment section. I'm on it. My mute button isn't muted. I got my eye on it, so I'm gonna make sure I ain't constantly, you know, talking to myself and all that. So we good to go. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring everybody up. We got Sydney in the building. We got Don in the building. We got my girl in the building, tapping in with us for the second week in a row. Uh, we haven't taken off yet since this year started. I'm hoping and praying to keep the ball rolling this entire year. So everybody, come on in, show some love. Uh, let's get it. Hold on.
Hello.
What up? What up? What up? What up?
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
It's Friday. What's the word? What's the word?
TGIF. Happy Friday.
I'm glad it's Friday.
Friday and feeling
How's
good.
everybody
definitely.
doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Good.
It's been a tough week here and there. You know, a little frustrations,
Right
whatever.
on.
But got
Right
through it.
on.
and it's
Right on.
okay.
Hey, look. We didn't. Sure. Aren't they all? You can't win them all, right? Some days might be easier than others, man. It's all in how you bounce back.
Yeah, by Friday, I won today, so I'm good. The rest of the week was worth it.
I feel you. I feel you. This is the one day out of the entire week that I look for about micromanagement. I'm not worried about people over my shoulder expecting me to perform great. I'm not, you know, I'm just me in my environment, enjoying some good reads. So shout outs to everybody here. I did last week, so I want to give y'all the opportunity this time to introduce each other to the public before we jump into this. Everyone is going to be reading 3 pieces today. 3 pieces. So I hope y'all got y'all listening ear. We'll start up at the top right corner and then work our way down. I'm pretty sure y'all familiar with me already, so there's no need for me to do no intros. If you want to go ahead, we're just gonna go around real quick with a quick intro. Then I'll kick the show off with something that I got.
Okay,
Sounds good.
cool. I'm MJ. You can find me on social media under Bad Girl Mommy. I'm from the East Coast and I write poetry, spoken word as a labor of love, as a form of therapy. And I guess I can say my goal is bringing art and therapy together for people. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Thank you. My name is Don. Currently on the East Coast as well. I'm a writer. I use it also for therapy. I like visual. I kind of like visuals along with my poetry. So you guys can find me on Instagram at Chameleon Creative. Also on YouTube, the same thing. I'm kind of building on that yet, but if you guys want to subscribe, you can find me on there. I appreciate it. It kind of encouraged me to put more videos up on there. And this will be my last week for a bit, but I'm looking forward to tonight.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sydney. I have my bachelor's degree in psych and my, bachelor's in psych and master's in environmental education. And I love to write poetry about the world that we live in, politics, climate change science, and mental health, psychology related topics. I really enjoy writing poetry for people as a way to educate and bring awareness to things that everyday people deal with. And yeah, you can find me on Blue Sky as well as Red Note and here on the platform. I'm here pretty much every week.
And with that being said, you already know the vibe. We're gonna start this thing off the right way. I got mine ready to go right now. So do me a solid, make sure that your microphones is on mute. And we're gonna get the ball rolling. So I'm almost certain that my mind needs to be evacuated. And sometimes I could just throw a grenade in there and call it a day. It's a complete pain and a word I won't say. Multiple me's going at it, trying to defile my property like uninvited guests. Lingering rings around the table, countertops, and moldy particles of food on your sofa. One willingly helps you clean up, the other leaves the mess for you. And then you have the one who steals and offers to help find what they took. They are your best friend. Sleeps over, gets us in all kinds of mess, then sends you the voicemail like they're unavailable. They pretty much are my ties to depravity and strings to a falsetto, my balance. Basically, hoarders I shouldn't call tenants that live rent free in my head. But now that I think about it, I'm about to start charging people rent. $933.99 a month, cash check and credit accepted. Otherwise, be out by the 15th or be court-martialed without a question. Voices. Voiceless. What can I say? It was about multiple personalities. It was about having different thoughts going on in your head. The liar, the stealer, the advocate, the politician, the poet. It was about just having different things going on at the same time. Ultimately, it's like, well, if you're going to be renting space here, then you're going to have to pay some taxes. I'm going to need you to come up off some money if you're going to be residing here in my space. This is my personal private space.
Thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I believe it's on you if you're
So
ready.
what you gonna do? I'm ready. I'm ready. So this poem is called This Small Town.
Okay.
This small town, homegirl, big city dreams. Caught between comfort food, never traveling too far from the womb. A trail of tales as we walk across the bay. On pipe dreams knee deep, scraping leeches off our sneakers. From the train tracks, chasing unsolved mysteries, to the sewage line, urban legend, soaked in after-school heat. Stories from the grown and mature we seemed. Very few have truly seen the other side of the bridge, and if you did, you were considered deep. Oh, how we listened. Oh, how they listened when I would speak of learning how to tongue-tie cherries, the things good girls would never do, hiding condoms in the tips of my shoes, biting off more than I can chew. Forever young, running loose, thinking you were too good for me, the me you thought you knew. Stuck in the mind, caught between, this is all I've ever been, safe in my dreams. Writing poetry under the courtyard tree, a childhood novelty, my piece of peace. An escape from the pedophiles turned uncles, and overnight aunties touching everything but their wallet, yet the first to grab the receipt. All in your business, not nosy, just neighborly. As the children watch and play repeat, with these words I stretch my hand for what needs to be said is more important than those who speak it. The truth of this town, its penny pinching pleasantries, Survival of the pettiness, broken homes, less hoods, more community we need. This small town, a friend around the way, enemies up the street, stepping over cracks, nicknames in the concrete. Mothers bearing everything but a wedding ring. This small town is our town. How dare I give up so easily? There was no place like our own, no place better to rebuild. No longer shall we take one for the team. Without sowing the seed in this small town, the pity never sleeps.
Thank you, MJ.
Thank you, thank you.
Sensational.
It's on me now, right?
Beautiful piece.
Thank you. If you never moved away
I
from
believe so.
home,
Yes.
that's where it stems from.
I felt that. I did. Does that re-jog your memory or take you back to a specific time and space when you read that one, or is it just like, oh, I'm just reading it? It's not. I remember it, but I don't really dwell on it anymore.
I haven't read that one in a while, and as I was reading it, I started remembering all those, like, because those are real life memories, and I've never moved away from where I grew up. So, and it's a city but like a small town area, and people talk about leaving your hometown so you can grow and all those different kind of things. And I'm one of those people that I take pride in where I live and where I'm from, and I feel like if I'm going to do anything, I would want to do it here. And as we all know, anywhere you go, there's the cliques, there's the popularities, there's the politics of things, and keeping things the same and not liking change and all that kind of stuff like that. So yeah, reading it and knowing that I'm still relatively in this area, it definitely brings up those feelings and those memories.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, Sasha was on point. You had mad quotables. And
Thank you.
this was one of my favorite lines too, with the mother bearing everything but a wedding ring. That was fire. Yeah, she had great wordplay, bro. Don, I turn it over to you, man.
Okay. Hello. This one's called Internal Garden. They told me I was a cracked vessel leaking worth, a rusted hinge, a songbird with silent birth. They said, find your other half, the missing vital piece, as if I were a puzzle, incomplete, begging release. But I looked into the mirror and I saw a garden overgrown, with tangled vines of doubt and seeds of fear I'd sown. The soil was barren, the roses withered gray, and I, the gardener, had turned and walked away. I sought my reflection in borrowed, fractured glass, hoping someone else would take my broken pieces past for whole. I chased the echoes of a phantom whispered name, believing love was a rescue, a burning, cleansing flame. But the flame consumed left only ash and hollow space. I learned that the yearning outwards leaves no room for inner grace. So I picked up the shears and faced the thorny wild terrain and whispered to the garden, we will bloom again. I pulled the weeds of self-reproach, the judgment sharp and cold, and watered the parched earth with stories yet untold. I planted seeds of kindness and forgiveness, gentle hands, and nurtured the small sprouts of dreams in barren lands. I painted the rusted hinge with colors bright and true, and taught the silent songbird how to sing anew. I mended the cracked vessel with threads of golden light, and filled it with the nectar of self-love, day and night. The garden flourished, vibrant and bursting with its own design, a symphony of colors, a testament divine. The air grew thick with fragrance, a honeyed, sweet perfume, and butterflies of joy danced, banishing the gloom. Then across the sunlit meadow, a figure came to view, a wanderer drawn by a garden's vibrant hue. Not a missing piece, but a mirror shining clear and bright, reflecting back the beauty of my own eternal light. They didn't see seek to mend me or complete a fractured whole, but stood in awe and whispered, "You've captured your own soul." They saw the garden blooming, the songbird's joyful flight, and knew that they'd found a kindred spirit bathed in the golden light. For love, I've learned, is not a search for what is lost and gone, but a celebration of the self, a brand new radiant dawn. When you cultivate the garden within, the tender, loving care, the soulmate you attract will breathe the same enchanted air. They'll recognize the strength you found, the battles you've won, and see the masterpiece you've made. Beneath the rising sun, so tend your inner garden, let your true self brightly shine, and watch the universe conspire to make your love divine. Immerse yourself in the enchanting visuals. Oh, that's it. I'm sorry. Sorry. I was reading I started reading the intro to my video. But basically that was about self-love and trying to find my soulmate. That's what that was about. Thank you. And I'm my own soulmate. But that's what I discovered is I had to just love myself and be my own soulmate.
That's an awesome message to send, especially now.
Agreed. Yeah. That
Absolutely.
self-love is foundational. It's important.
Thank you, MJ.
You're welcome, Don.
Thank you, Sydney.
Of
I
course.
got a little bit nervous all of a sudden. I don't know why. I was like freaking out a little bit.
We all get that way. Don't worry. All right.
You said so much. It's hard to catch up. I think if you just kind of breathe before you go into it and just
That's what it was. Like
relax and just let.
I got nervous and I read too fast. Yeah.
And I can relate because I write lengthy and put so many words, and I've been really trying to work on like spacing
Delivery.
it. Yeah, because like I know what the words are and what it sounds like, but then like to other people, it's like being stuffed with all this food you like, but it's like overwhelming.
Well, that's the way my mind is. My mind is always thinking like when I'm writing, it's like it flows. But then when I'm going to deliver it, it's not the same. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I would like to invite anybody that if you want to see what that poem's about, you can go to my Instagram at Chameleon Creative. I did post that today, and it's a lot slower spoken and easier to read.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes your tongue can't keep up with your brain.
Yes, always, always.
And that's the good thing with social media. We have copies of things, so we
Yeah.
definitely check it out, which we will.
But thank you for your patience, guys, and hear me out.
Of course. Of course. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
All right. Do you want me to start?
You good? You ready? Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So this one's called Floods of Denial. And okay. Tempest and torrential rains, missing birds and wilting grains. Once with wisdom, now a stain, we are wounds to blessed terrain. Broken snowstorms, icy fractures, flowing valleys, deluge rapture. Faking hopes with carbon capture as we cook this land much faster. Deserts will take the grass's place as forests shrivel across wider space. Beachfront homes will be displaced as rivers surge and consume cliff face. As wistful addicts fight to acquire, praying flocks stay starved and tired. Trembling joints will point to the sky from altars gracing these lands of fire. Bright lights who chose not to sleep, students who became black sheep. Scream frantically, denounce and weep as land and sea became trash heaps. Plastic leftover bits and strands, reinforced papered commands. Leaders proclaim with hollow hands, spineless promises made out of sand. Unwilling to see fault of our lease, come the 10 plagues of disbelief. Misguided counts on man's timepiece, while greedy claim the rationed peace. Denying futures, rabid fact fleecers, sell our souls to the consuming creator, bearing ourselves one hole deeper, casting votes to the tech grim reaper. When cities aim to scorn their gods, curse their soils, and kill their fog, submissively we slaughter odds of prevailing past our careless fraud. As we watch earth decay, while experts estimate our fate, we could act without delay, yet we just doubt what they relay. Today we think we earned our keep. We sowed a world privileged to reap. Broken words and actions cheap have consequences oh so steep. One day we will look back in rage, set back to a dark old age. The war we felt was right to wage will return us to our deserved cage. Speaking of tongue twisters.
It's probably because
We
we
do it
brought
for-
it up now.
I think we do it for ourselves. We do it to ourselves.
I know.
Yeah.
That one's obviously about climate change, if you couldn't tell.
Thank you.
Mhm. Absolutely.
That was beautiful. I
Thank
enjoyed
you.
it. You're welcome.
Yeah, I wrote that.
I need to find a.
I did add the if you guys want to look at the doc, I put the doc up there in our private chat so you can look at the poem and read it for yourselves.
Awesome. Thank you.
There's a
Right.
sound bite that I gotta find. That would have went perfectly with that. It gave me apocalyptic.
That's definitely where it
Like
was
when you said you're into like disasters and things like that. I picked up what you was putting down.
Visualized it.
But
Good.
it's like you said it in the most polite way. You said it in the most
Yes.
polite way, but it's like
Yeah.
fire and brimstone. You're gonna burn. You're all gonna burn.
Saying it nicely.
But
It's
you
your
said so
fault.
Well, like she said,
It's
like
so
she said at that show you guys had the other day, just tuck your head between your
Yeah,
legs and kiss
yeah.
your booty goodbye.
Yeah.
It's like a hopeful horror. kind of
Yeah.
thing.
I love it though. I absolutely loved it. I'm gonna find that soundboard for specifically, and yeah, it's gonna. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna follow up behind this. It's gonna follow up
That'll
right
be
behind
loud.
that. That's how you're
Yep.
gonna know.
You're gonna hear that.
That's the earth sound every time she unleashes another disaster on us.
Even that was poetic.
Pretty much. Right.
But true. But true.
Speaking of which, I want to go around and take pictures of my hometown. We had a tornado this past year that was unheard of here, and it pretty much destroyed a lot of stuff here. So I want to take some pictures and like share them with you guys, and maybe if I'm available for one of your podcasts, I can present it to you guys.
Yeah. What city?
Rome, New York.
Oh, I was just watching something about that in a documentary because it was like completely unheard of. And then it was
Mhm.
also, wasn't it a category 4?
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, and now it looks like there's a lot of abandoned houses now, a lot of destruction.
I bet.
So, yeah.
That just made me think of something. I'm gonna come back to that. I guess it's on me. So give me 1 second. Mama say, Mama sa mumakusa. Mama say, Mama sa mumakusa. Distant memories. Roads unpaved. Validation in its season. It's like fresh powder, white snow, surrounded by elks grazing in their habitat. Waters still, apprehensive. In declaration, with its adversary debauchery manifests into its antithesis to legislate a treaty in a soul full of contempt, oblique muscles, a lock, jammed, holding on to things that threaten to evict them, has brought understanding to the bare rug by the fireplace in the same cabin. Perjury discovered your lies is the exact nostalgia to evoke the insipid. And in the admonishment, our mistakes unfold as does Kemp to the starved sarcophagus, waiting in the silent noise, in colors that contour to our expressions to alleviate this dogmatic point of view. Got me feeling like dying is too good for you to supplicate, because my meniscus, since my mental hemorrhage, has been what facilitated healing, whence despair's refugees murmur a life longed for isn't existence. Existing to exist is just empty. A broken man can be remolded. This broken man been through the assembly. And Finn. Yes.
I always like your repetition.
Thank you.
Gracias.
That would be cool.
Gracias.
That would be cool.
Gracias.
Yeah, what inspired that poem, Mel?
I started creating alter ego poetry. As you noticed, I started going into it a little bit at the end of it. I'll start off. You'll see on my third one. I'm gonna do the third one that way. So it's like one side, it's like a Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type of a thing, where one side of me has like this very logical calmness. The other side is pretty much talking to the other version of me. Everything that I would typically write about is mental war. Is always something that I'm dealing with internally that I just don't know how to puzzle together externally. You know what I'm saying?
I used to write more like that myself, but I've kind of changed my thing a little bit. I'm feeling like I want to do it again now. I like that style. I can definitely relate to it, and that's usually how I write. I just started doing a little bit different stuff.
Right on.
Like
Sasha funny as hell. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was cool.
She
Yeah,
said something about Count.
and introducing the voices. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Me and Strav supposed to be doing something. I haven't had a chance to sit down and write nothing, but we supposed to be collabing on something here soon. So I might have to go ahead and start procrastinating and get that done. That's gonna be dope.
The sooner we can see it or hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, before now, like
Miss MJ, are you ready in my Triple H voice?
I am ready. I'm ready. Oh, yeah, I'm muted. I'm ready.
All right. Oh, so it wasn't me this time. Uh-huh. Yeah. It wasn't me that was on mute this time. Not today. All right. Nah, you got it. You got it. Hold on.
Okay. This one is called I Know Your Type. I know your type. A cup of coffee turns into a glass of wine. So smooth, no need for cream. So cool, they hold the ice. Yes, sir. I know your type. Baritone Jones. Late nights, early moans. Lay it straight, no need to chase her. Have your cake down to the last scrape of the plate. My brown eyes sigh as you toss a wink to tip the witch with 7 digits to thank her later. I know your style. A day at the beach, candy store sweet. Loved by the slice you had me at the first bite. Double bike ride off into a romantic night. Sunrise to moonlight, convos over cosmos as the band serenades the suede off the shades. I know your game. I see you, player, and I know you like what you see. A serving of chivalry wrapped in a smile with a dash of charm. Wow. Yeah, I know your MO. Passion thickens as time spent closes in. Your chariot awaits, leading us to a great debate as to what yonders beyond my condo gates. I know what you want. And what I know checks with what I believe. Guilty as you leave, the battle of the mind ponders louder and fonder for a tease. A touch of an affair felt at a distance, forced the thought of you that counts cows into the yellow moon comes. Once in the blue, you think of her. Twice, if her rose blooms. From spring to autumn, the script flips. Tails say, move on. Head says, girl, call him. A man of many flavors, lover of little favors. I know your vibe. And I'm not so blinded by your cufflinks that I can't see how you wear your heart on your sleeve with such ease. I know your time, and it ain't for keeps. I just hope that you remember me. Oh, thank you, Sasha.
I remember you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dad.
That was so like relaxing and pretty to listen to. Like that was just like poetry for the ears too, as much as it was visual.
Yes.
Thank you. About one night stands go wrong. I'm glad that sounds so beautiful.
Yeah. Good put.
Is I had a question about that. This is just a general one. I know it's kind of off subject, but how do y'all feel about one night stands?
I think that's for youngsters. Yeah. You know,
Very much so.
when I was a young man, I was all about that. But, you know, as an older guy, it's like, I really want to know who you are. You know what I mean? Because it's just so much going on in the world that it's dangerous. You know what I mean? And children are expensive. And I'm a baby maker, so I can't do that kind of dangerous stuff. You know what I mean? And yeah, I'm good on that.
I did once when I was in college. I had a one night stand with somebody and I felt so gross afterwards that I just never ever did that again. I just something about willingly being so personal with somebody that you don't know that well is just no. Nope.
Especially in today's world.
What'd you say?
Especially in today's world, man. It's just so.
Oh yeah. Who knows what people are doing and what they have? Nope. I'm glad I'm married and don't have to deal with any of that anymore.
Yeah, I'm very like, no. It shouldn't be something that, well, I can only speak for me. I don't intentionally go into thinking that. Anyone that I'm getting to know, I'm thinking we're building lifelong partnership. I feel like time is our greatest commodity, that we don't know how much of it that we have,
Yeah.
that we shouldn't be giving it to anyone that we don't think, that if we look back, we're like, I could have been doing something else with my time. So it's not something that I intentionally look for, seek, or plan, or want to go that way.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah, I think my time is pretty valuable, so I would want to invest it in just like a night. You know what I mean? I think I deserve a lifetime. You know what I mean?
And anyone that could trust me like that without knowing me, then would they marry me like that without knowing me? And if the answer is no, then I'm good.
Yeah.
How about you, Mel?
Our mindsets when we're young. Our mindsets when we are young are just raw and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thinking about soul ties. I wasn't thinking about spreading pieces and portions of my spirit, spreading it out thin to various people. I wasn't considering that parts of them would remain with me, and I never was grasping that. But you don't really know how serious it is until you see the effects of it
Mm-hmm.
and what it does to people and what it does to yourself.
Yeah, it
So
definitely caused a lot of my current problems in my life,
nah,
my young stuff.
Bonnie Blue must have no soul then. She's the one that slept with like
Hey.
1,000 men.
real quick, real quick. I'm glad you brought that up because there's another story. I was getting ready. I was going to do a reaction to it. It's not Bonnie Blue. Well, it's technically about her, but Lily Phillips. So Lily Phillips was the one who set the record for 101 bodies in 12 hours, 24 hours.
24.
And then Bonnie Blue, right. And then Bonnie Blue, she exceeded it and slept with over 1,000. So it just came out that Lily Phillips is actually pregnant officially, which means that
One of
someone
100?
someone out of yeah,
That courtroom's gonna be packed. That courtroom's gonna be packed when they do that DNA test.
Oh God. Imagine the doctor like, oh, do you know who the father could be?
That's embarrassing.
I have a list.
I have a shopping list.
yeah.
Literally 1 out of 100% chance one of those men could be. That's.
And watch it be none of them. It'd be none of them.
No, that would be hilarious.
That'd be the messed up part. Yeah. It sounds like some of the women that are from my hometown here. Sorry, not sorry,
But I mean, like, do you know how that's gonna screw that child up though?
Mm-hmm.
When that child find out how they were conceived,
yeah,
and you got oh man, the spiritual side of it at that.
Yeah.
I was like, watch her get multiples, and they're all like different dads.
Yeah.
Hey, at least if it's multiple kids, then they're not alone.
And I can't believe that she went public with it. You know what I mean? Like she actually said, "Yeah, I'm pregnant now." Like, you know, like.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like people have an access, and like how Mel said, like however many kids she ends up having, it's more than just the physically she slept with men. It's more of the like the whole world knows about you before you even know about you.
Yeah.
And knows about your mom, and like it's just crazy.
probably created a lot of problems for that kid's future.
That's a. I got one more question, and then Don, you do your thing. And I hate to go here, but how do you how do y'all feel about adult actors having children?
They better homeschool.
I caught on. It took a second. I caught on.
Hopefully they quit. Like,
I guess it's kind of what's interesting now is that so many things are way more common than back in the day.
Mhm.
That like it's becoming accepted as like any other occupation.
Mhm.
I mean, it still has those like taboo sentiments to it, but it's unfortunate that people are starting to move in a way that if money is being made, it doesn't matter how.
Yeah.
you
So-
do you, boo. I hate that. My friend said that to me because I was talking to her about the stuff that had Lily Phillips and all that stuff, and she was saying like, well, it's no different than like prostitution and stuff like that from the past. And I'm like, but why would you willingly subject yourself to that? And she was like, well, it's their choice and their body. If they want to do it, then they should be allowed to do that. And I'm just like,
That's
but-
the problem. That's the problem is that I think that saying is too like MJ was saying, it's just like it's common now, it's okay now, and it's really not, because like you lose your soul and you lose yourself. I mean, it's no longer fun. I mean, like how could you ever be intimate with? How could I don't know if I could be intimate with somebody knowing that okay, they just got done doing 100. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't think that would be very comfortable. You know what I mean? And it would certainly limit the amount of stuff we do, because you know what I mean, it's just terrible. You know what I mean? And I think that more people are getting comfortable with it, and it's bad.
Yeah.
And just because you have the freedom of choice doesn't make us free from consequences. I think that's the other annoying part, when it's like they can do what they want, but why encourage somebody to do something that you know when they wake up or they realize what they did and how it's going to affect them?
Yeah.
Like, why encourage them to do that? Something that's not good, for them. Like, of course they can do what they want to do, and they're going to, but I'm not going to enable it or like, encourage them to do that particular thing.
Exactly.
Or make it right because so many people are doing it and normalize it. And it's just
And on behalf of the children of these individuals, like that stuff's online. Their name is out there, and there's no way that the child is not going to find out about this later in life. And especially when they're like middle school, teenager, they're going to have that come back to them. They're going to have a friend or a classmate or whatever that's going to be like, isn't your mom the one that's like, I saw her? I'm like, that's going to be absolutely humiliating. And we already have like a mental health crisis. There's already kids that are struggling to be alive just being themselves. And then you're going to add that on top of that. And then not to mention the lifestyle that their mom is probably pushing onto them, because they have that mentality. Like they're probably going to have self-esteem issues. They're going to have daddy issues and mommy issues and all kinds of things that are going to complicate their life into the future. So I'd feel bad for any of those kids.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like for those kids, like we know where we came from, like we know how we got here, but we don't want to know, like actually hearing it, being near it or being around it. And that's just in our own home with our parents and stuff like that when you're young. So broadcasting that on, like, you're not even prepared that you're going to see that on your phone, or your friend shows you something, or someone from school that may not know who your parent is. And they're just like, because unfortunately at that age, you're exposing yourself to stuff. It's so easy to see it. And like, I'm thinking if someone showed me like my mom, man.
This kind of reminds me of the documentary about that guy that was it Girls Gone Wild or something like that, where he was getting footage from spring breaks and stuff like that, and then girls started hearing about them being in these videos and seeing themselves in these videos. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that in a way, and it's terrible. You know what I mean? It'd be a terrible way to, especially say if what if she becomes a Christian, Lily does. What if Lily decides to change her life? You're not going to be able to change your life that easily having that kind of thing publicized. You know what I mean? People are always going to expect you to be that person that you were with that body count. You know what I mean?
And imagine, like, especially with Lily Phillips, imagine one day having to explain to her child, like, Mom, where did I come from? Like,
Yeah.
I challenged myself. Like, oh God, that's gonna be a horror story.
Yeah.
And Mel, you said someone like there was another young girl is 1,000 or something like that in a day
Mm-hmm.
in 24.
Yes, ma'am.
1,074.
Sorry, guys.
Like, how many minutes is in a day? I don't even know how that. Like, that is crazy. That is crazy. A part of me has a hard time even believing.
Sorry.
It.
86,000 seconds in a day.
At Sasha. 86. Everybody has a choice. I don't care. Like, unless you're someone like there's kids that drink water from a ravine in foreign countries where they take turns using the restroom. They drink from the same water that they defecate in, and they still find ways to make a living. So for me, you go into that field of work because you just enjoy it. It's easy, and maybe there is a component to it where something psychologically is off in them.
Yeah.
I've tried.
What kind of enjoyment would there be though in a 1 minute?
What was the last part?
With 1,000 people, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know where that would be comfortable at all. Anyway, you know what I mean, like,
with those girls is one thing. Like, women that and not saying that men may have not experienced things too, but women that are in like the adult entertainment industry, it's very easy for a lot of them to have been exposed to it young, to where it just becomes so normal or all that they know. That doesn't mean that there isn't information out there for them to know to get out of it. But I'm just saying that because I can kind of understand I understand what Sasha is saying.
Yeah.
Or the point that she's trying to make.
For them, it's normal or okay. They maybe not even feel some type of way about it.
Like, it could have started for them before they even could really have a concept of what is right and wrong for their body, for their soul, for their mind, and things like that. But like how Mel said, people who are like, they think that that's cute, or that they think that that's a way to make money and to be admired, and whatever the case may be. It could be about insecurity, but like someone wanting to do it and they're choosing to do it, giving you that pass. No, but there are also the people that may have been exposed so young before they could even have the like consent of things, and then this is just all that they're just kind of staying in it, repeating that shame over and over again because it's all they know, or whatever other psychological. Now we're kind of getting into like mental health and stuff like that of things, but
it really is, you know, like for me personally, I think one of the main reasons why I was promiscuous with lots of girls, whatever like that when I was younger, was because I was looking for love, and I thought that, you know, when I was able to make a girl happy in that way, that was love. I thought that was connection, you know what I mean? Because of the way I was raised. But in hindsight and looking at it now, I realize that there's more to me than that, and more to that person than that. But I really don't judge anybody that goes that way, but I would feel bad for the children, though, like we were talking about before. You know what I mean? The children of those kind of relationships.
because at some point we gotta like take accountability and responsibility of like,
Yeah.
all right, this is what I went through, but like,
Mhm.
how am I trying to live moving forward?
Yeah.
I think the best case scenario is if her daughter kind of renounces her own mom's behavior. Like I've noticed that happening now, where especially with like technology addicted parents, like the kids are the ones telling their parents, like, can you not be on social media? Can you not post my pictures? Can you like get off and spend time with me? So it's sad seeing that parents are now being parented by their own kids, and I feel like that might start happening with these mothers that are doing this type of behavior. They might even have their kids like, mom, can you please stop? This is embarrassing. This is gross. Like, I don't want you to be doing this. This is dangerous. I feel like we're going to start seeing a lot of that too.
I kind of agree with you, Lentz, and yeah, I've seen it kind of like with these kids, they're a little bit smarter than their parents. You know what I mean? As far as like being a little more level-headed. You know what I mean? And maybe trying to encourage their parents, you know, and making better decisions.
Yeah, I think that goes back to like the point we were making on why, to the whole do you boom on like, yeah, people can have these choices, but if we're not pacifying them, if and not being harsh and not coming from a place like we don't do any wrong, but like if we're really making it known like, hey, this is not good for you, the more we stop normalizing these things, these people can stop living in delusion that what they're doing is okay and good for them and benefiting them. And yeah,
I agree with that one.
You guys should come on for commentary sometime.
Well, hopefully you guys will have podcasts
on
the weekends, on the weekends or day shift, because I still would like to be a part of the community, but unfortunately, my evening can be tied up Monday to Friday.
Well, you know, I stream every day.
I know you do, man.
throughout
I
the
know.
week.
I see it.
Yeah, I stay in front of the laptop. I told them at the beginning of the year I was going to be on a helmet, and I am. So
I have quite a testimony and plethora of experiences and knowledge that I would love to share. You know, different podcasts I've seen you put out. You know what I mean? And I've even spoke or messaged during them or whatever like that. But yeah, you guys have a lot of good discussions.
definitely. Yeah, I think even this week, like I was just catching a lot of the things you've been posting, Mel, have been like so on point on things that I'm just like within myself, like thinking of and like processing, and I'm like, I'm really enjoying the content, and I plan on like looking back to just see what you have put up. But
And Sasha's correct. Sasha's correct about that. Not enabling them is one thing, but not shaming them either is the balance. Yeah, because shaming can definitely cause more of a, you know, issue, problem, and pain.
you know,
definitely.
what's interesting about that? We did a. It goes back to something MJ said. Like we've done a show about should shaming be a thing. We've literally did this. This was like an hour, 20 minutes. We spoke about this before. You'd be surprised what we've covered up here in a year, 2 years. We've damn near talked about everything that you could possibly think of. Sydney is bringing something completely new to the entire channel with everything that she speaks on. But we've pretty much done talked about health. We've talked about mental health. We've talked about spirituality. We've talked about relationships. We've talked about transgender stuff. We've talked about.
Yeah.
I've even done a show on stop saying pause. Stop saying pause after every single sentence. I can't stand that. We're adults. We're adults. I know what you meant. I know what you're saying. You don't have to insinuate everything being homophobic. But
I had a friend that
I don't
did
want to
that.
we was going off we almost went into a whole podcast on this one. I don't want to I don't want to do that to y'all. But I appreciate our feedback on those because I just wanted to make sure I wasn't crazy. Don,
I
I
appreciate
know
you
it's
giving the
on you to
space.
read, so I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay. All right.
Oh no, it's all love.
All right. This one's called Illusions, guys. In realms of crystal prison where shadows play, a hollow echo rings at close of day. We build our tombs with marble, cold and grand, while whispered stories vanish from the land. A funeral's pomp, a spectacle grief, outshines the quiet life, a heart's relief. The departed spirit lost in show's embrace, a fleeting memory erased without a trace. The wedding bells, a symphony so bright, a fleeting glimpse of love's ethereal light. But vows exchanged like fragile silken thread may fray and break the passion lying dead. The dress, the feast, the guests in fine array, more weight than they hold than love's enduring sway. The heart's true compass buried deep inside, beneath the surface where pretenses hide. The body's temple worshipped and adored, its fleeting beauty falsely reassured. We chase the image, sculpted and refined, ignoring whispers of the searching mind. The intellect, a treasure rarely sought, is subtle wisdom tragically forgot. The outward form, a gilded, painted shell, where true potential lies, a silent no. A world of vessels, polished, gleaming bright, yet emptiness resides, devoid of light. We flood ourselves with trinkets cheap and bold, while stories slumber, waiting to unfold. The container's glory paramount and clear, the content hidden, lost in doubt and fear. A shadow surface shimmering in vain, where depth and meaning struggle to attain. Like painted masks, we wear a smiling face, concealing truths within this hollow space. We build our walls of pretense, strong and yet high, to shield the fragile soul that yearns to fly. The genuine connection of forgotten art, replaced by hollow words that tear apart. We trade sincerity for fleeting praise, lost in a labyrinth of deceptive ways. The echo chamber amplifies the lie, the surface beauty, and the reason why. We chase the fleeting shadows, unaware of treasures buried, waiting to be there. The inner world, a landscape rich and deep, where the wisdom slumbers, secrets it does keep. But we are blinded by the outward gleam and lose ourselves within a waking dream. The market square, where bodies are displayed, their worth assessed, their value quickly weighed. The intellect, the currency debased, its worth diminished, its true value erased. We trade it in flesh and superficial charm, ignoring whispers of the soul's alarm. The inner beauty, overlooked and scorned, a precious jewel forever left forlorn. The digital domain, a vast expanse where images and filters hold their dance. We curate profiles, polished and so neat, a perfect version carefully complete. But behind the screen, a different story lies, a yearning heart that silently cries. The curated self, a fragile, hollow disguise, reflecting back the world's deceptive lies. We chase the phantom, the fleeting unreal, the perfect image, the idealized appeal. But happiness eludes our grasping hand as we pursue illusions built on sand. The true contentment found within our soul, a quiet whisper making our spirits whole. But we are deafened by the world's loud call and stumble blindly with destined for a fall. A world of surfaces where shadows reign. When will we seek the truth and break the chain? When will we value substance deep and true and honor spirits brave and strong and new? When will we cherish intellect and mind and leave the hollow vessels far behind? Only then can we begin to truly live and find that peace that only truth can give. That goes right along with our discussion right there, guys.
And find the peace only truth can give.
I personally have struggled with identity, a lot of my life. I really didn't know who I was and what I was supposed to be, because I was shamed, like Sasha was talking about growing up and where I came from and, some of the trauma I went through as a child. I didn't know who I was, what I was, and who I was supposed to be. And, it was a big struggle, and there was always this front that I had, these lies, these manipulations, and these things I was trying to use to cover up this brokenness inside me, and it caused a whole lot of pain, so I strive to be really, really real and sensitive, to others, because I know that shaming can destroy, it can definitely destroy you. I believe in tough love, though. Don't get me wrong. I do believe in tough love, but shaming somebody is totally different,
Agree.
I agree. Big difference.
Yeah.
Right on.
Thank you.
So many layers.
Yes,
so many layers.
Many layers. I'm like an onion. And being nervous.
I live for those.
I like an onion.
I do.
Getting nervous.
All right. My next one will also follow the theme that we were just discussing. This one's called Human Sacrifices. Day by day, we leave our remains, scattered hapless across tattered landscapes of digital billboards and lists of our lives. With every door we enter and willingly smile, we submit more of ourselves to faceless potentates with no thoughts for the private. Trusting them blindly with two-faced denying, they trade us for money while secretly dealing our informational honey. With profiles like criminals, we post all our meat and donate free peace, yet somehow get shocked when our identities leak. Cautious we should be of all reckless childs, we should not market our files. Take back your custody, demand your own trial, revoke all your data that they've claimed for themselves. Refind yourself, for your life is yours and not a doll for their shelf.
A shorty but good one. Thank you.
Yeah, Sydney's always coming through with the like wake up
She
people.
She gets her point across in a lot less time than I do. Yeah.
That's kind of how my brain is all the time. It's always like shaking people metaphorically, like, what are you doing? Why are you acting this way?
Like I loved how like you're touching on that, like giving up our privacy, giving up our consent, and like
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah. I've always felt very strongly about the internet, and I remember like in middle school, high school, I always thought that it would kind of go the other direction, that people were going to get their information stolen, and then people would be like, ooh, I don't want to do that anymore. But people are still doing it. And I've noticed even the older generations who used to tell us like, oh, don't put yourself out there. Those are the same people that are getting scammed and of all their money, and they're having their accounts stolen and their information stolen. Like, you learn nothing. You told us not to do it, and then you learn nothing. You did worse than nothing. Like, so, yeah.
I think it's because it doesn't really hurt them that much. Like if a mosquito bites you, you just and then you might itch for a minute. But if a bee sting your ass, then I bet you'll pay a little more attention then.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's the level of damage that happens that make a person say, okay, it's time for me to put a little more respect on this. But that's just my opinion, of course. We're all screwed. We're all getting screwed over. For real. Sydney is probably one of the few people who has taken action to get away from a lot of the effery that we are dealing with as we speak. And I still use a lot of these places for my own reasons, but at the same token, you know, I can understand her stance. Sasha has said something about going to Afghanistan and seeing some things going on over there earlier, and I don't know. We just live in a world of screwed up human beings, man, that ain't got no conscience whatsoever. And a lot of the monsters are amongst us wearing suits and ties.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
And blazers.
Our government.
That's the sad part. I got a little story. Unfortunately, when I was younger, I was in prison quite a few times. But, you know, one of the prisons I was in was for particular for DWI people, like for DWI. And the warden of the place actually ran and hit and killed somebody and ran, and was a pregnant woman. You know what I mean? And he still kept his job. You know, didn't lose his job, didn't go to jail, didn't get a fine or anything. You know, but this person lost their life. You know what I mean? So it's like people that are rich. You know, I don't understand why our justice. I understand it's because of money, but I think that we should have more fairness across the board. You know, because there'd be less crime. A lot of these other countries, they don't have so much crime because they do public, you know, you like they don't stand for it. You know what I mean? If we were more strong on things and okay, if there's gonna be death penalty, you kill somebody, that's what's gonna be for everybody across the board. You know what I mean? If you're a pedophile, then you need to all suffer. It doesn't matter if you're a president or if you're a, you know what I mean? It's just too much leniency for people with money. You know what I mean? And prestige, whatever, clout, actors, actresses, you know, sports people, and all kinds of stuff. There's people that are terrible. Kind of lost my train of thought, I guess.
We got
No,
you at everything.
Your point that system is going to protect the people within it,
Yeah.
and the rest of us is just
Like, for instance, why have a trial over something if you got it on camera, like George Floyd, for instance, you got it on camera that cop killed him. Plain and simple. You know, it doesn't matter if that person was a criminal. It doesn't matter that person was on drugs. It doesn't matter. You did the same thing that any other person that's a murderer did. You know what I mean? So you're wasting taxpayer money. You're causing more attention. You're causing riots because people are feeling some type of way. You're dragging it out. You know what I mean? You're making a mother of George have to go relive that during the whole time of the trial. You know what I mean? These things are just, it's so stupid to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And living in San Diego, I've seen firsthand what George Floyd and all that. They had started the banks on fire in La Mesa and everything. You know, it was like I seen the aftermath of that.
There wasn't nothing cute about it. I tell you that much.
No.
I guess this is the last one from me for this evening. So let me go ahead and get this one done here. I'm gonna try to channel my alter ego for this. So hold on. Existing in a world that doesn't acknowledge your existence is frightening. I can go back as far as 5 years old when my grandmother took me to visit her husband. His raised flag, we got lost in this 500 foot museum of extinction crisis that paints its vegetable in vintage Angola. 40 cubic feet of Allegros as high as the width of a wordless left palate in cusp of man facing his monopoly. I couldn't tell if I was looking at a deck of cards or a chessboard prepared by God and Satan, but I knew that whomever folded their hands were not leaving that table empty-handed. This world created a large facet of mirages. The dead think they're alive. The living walk this earth like a television monitor. This walk we take through this plantation is sad. Not one denotation, just an abroad variance of antisepticals and cutaneous bowing to dusk FEMA, which begs the question that I ask my mother's mother's mother, who are we? As she removes the moss from his birth certificate, she replies, I always preferred the company of my elders. And I didn't understand until she explained it, saying they were built with tougher skin, and with every fading day, it was no longer about fighting, but knowing you never needed to. When I told you I'd die for you, I meant that. Cereal wouldn't taste the same. Cornflakes wouldn't spill in my milk. The storylines that poured out would be the most romantic things I've ever heard, and probably own 20 cats and watch reruns of Twilight until there are different results. When I am forced to face your shadow, I'll try everything in my power to keep the light on. I'll try to keep the light on your torso. And if that doesn't work, I'll play Candid over and over again until the lyrics make sense. I'll write you in all kinds of antiquities, leave them as drafts, and only send positive feedback. I'll crawl out of my skin so I don't have to feel and sing off key in drunken words, because it's unbearable to live with sobriety. When I said I'd die for you, I really meant it. But instead of people dressing in all black, the jaws of life will have to remove me from the couch in my mind. I'll have to be cut off and cut back on again. Born again. Born. Assimilated, desensitized. Ash clouds, sheared cardigans, mortars, and feeders, because I give up the right to evolve into Armageddon. I give up the right to destroy myself. I just give.
Tell us more about that. Can you tell us what that is for you?
It was a conversation I had with my mom a week before she passed away. We didn't have the greatest relationship, and one particular afternoon, I sat on the back porch. She came to the back porch, and she was wondering why I was sitting back there, and I let her know exactly how I felt about everything. She didn't interrupt me. She didn't cut me off. She didn't try to gaslight me. She took every punch and every verbal hook that I could throw at her, and we made peace with every single thing that I was grieving over. We made peace with every single thing that she had lived through and what I had lived through with her and without her. And that's pretty much what that was about.
Thank you for being vulnerable, man, and sharing that. Thank you that. Yeah, definitely.
It definitely gave me like,
Yeah.
because I love radio, like how it used to be, where you can just sit and you listen and someone is telling a story and
Mm-hmm.
you can connect with it. And that was like between, like how you said, your alter ego and the changing of the voices and who's speaking, and that's what it gave me.
When you were writing that, were you also thinking in those voices as you were writing, or was it something after you wrote it that you decided you were going to change the tonalities and stuff?
Yeah. I mean, because now see, there's an angel and then there's a demon always constantly in your ear.
Mm-hmm.
One is conflating angelic behavior, mimicking it. The other one is actually the purest form of it. And so I always misconstrued those social cues. So when I would see somebody that was toxic come off as if they were actually pure, but really in reality it was far from that. That that really fucked me up because I spent a lot of years chasing after something that I thought was of God and it really wasn't. And it took me down a very dark place. That's why I write the way I write, because everything that you hear and see is not what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a very, very intentional listener. I have my introvert side of me has prepared me to be in the company of anyone. I can tell off rip who is who and what kind of spirit a person got just based off of how they talk and how they communicate. That's why I write the way I write, because a lot of people are not going to understand anything that I'm talking about. And it's because a lot of people who go out here and try to get into any type of friendship or any type of relationship, their intentions are not as what they appear to be at all. I learned that because of my mom's and how I was raised with and without her. So yeah, a lot of my stuff is like that though. So I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you. I wrote a poem. I'm not ready at all to share it, but it was something similar to what you're talking about. For that I wrote to my mom, and it was very difficult. I mean, it was something I would never read publicly, but I can relate to you in that way.
I definitely understand that because I still like I want desperately to write poems about my dad. I lost when I was 13. He had a brain hemorrhage, and he ended up being like permanently damaged, brain damage from that. And so he basically became like a toddler again, and we had to reteach him how to do everything, how to walk and talk and read and everything. And he ended up kind of getting back most of what he could do before. Like he wasn't able to go back to work or anything. But I was 12 when he had his first stroke, and then he ended up passing away literally a month before I graduated from college. And I still, to this day, I want to write about him and I want to create poetry to talk about what happened to him and how the effects it had on me and stuff. But it's so difficult to put all of that type of experience into words. So I definitely understand how hard it can be to put it into words, how to create content out of such a meaningful and deeply I don't want to say traumatizing because it's not really traumatizing, but like emotional experience. It can be really hard to put that type of stuff into words and to share it. Yeah, I think I did on the 17th because that was the anniversary of his second stroke. But I have quite a number of poems that are still like half finished because it's really hard to finish it and like complete it because I like there's so much that I want to put into it.
People don't know how difficult it is to be vulnerable, and to do it on camera is entirely a whole different world. Saying
Yeah.
my mom has been gone since 2002. Still doesn't really feel like she's gone. I still expect her to walk through the door. And when you better find a way to channel that somehow. But anybody who has the courage to be vulnerable up here on stage, off stage, a simple post, hats off to you, and salutes, because yeah, it doesn't really matter if you write short form or long form. Your that's a part of your identity, and that's why every live stream, every upload I do, I say shout out to the writers, poets, content creators. I always do it. I don't think there's been one I missed, because I really have a respect for that. So I hope everybody enjoyed tonight. I appreciate all of you for pulling up. For everybody that's watching, I'm definitely going to try to keep this going throughout the year. I would love to spin back next week and do another one. As far as the podcast and things like that, like Sydney said, it would be hella dope to have y'all on for episode or something like that, because we surely was about to go down that road. I had to put a pause to it because I ain't want to get us off track. You know what I'm saying? We was going soon as she said Bonnie Blue, I already knew it was about to be a thing, because I had just watched a video about her and Lily Phillips, and I was like, damn, we here. But now I'm gonna go around, let y'all give y'all final thoughts, words, anything you want to share with the people, anything before we get up out of here.
I definitely have one last poem, but MJ, I think you're next if you want to go.
Okay, cool. I had a poem in mind, and then like listening to you all read your poems, two came to my mind that I wanted to do. One of them, it would take me too long to try to put that together, so I'm going to do this one. And it's called If He Looks at Me the Way I Look at Him. If he looks at me the way I look at him, then I must be the worst of the worst, birth of a curse, scum on the floor and nothing more. If he thinks of me the way I think of him, then I must be a tear to his eye, the missing piece to his soul, a mystery to his mind, the child he dreams to hold. Daddy's little girl, you could never call me. Who's that girl, he would say if he ever saw me. I will never understand, nor ever have a clue to why the man who made me could be so cruel. From the scars on my siblings' flesh to the wounds on my soul that are skin deep. Everything I know about you is from what I've been told, and for you, my heart has grown cold. Though I try to fight it, you are still a part of me. From my head down to my toes to deep in my soul, from the blood in my veins to the last name that I dare not to change is you. In your mind, I doubt I exist, but my heart urges to take the risk with the hope that one day I will be accepted, though I know there lies the possibility that I will be rejected. But hey, if he looks at me the way I look at him.
Wow, that was very deep. Thank you.
Thank you.
I really like that one. That was really good.
I do too.
And to be more like transparent, that was the poem that kicked off poetry for me. It started off as a very, very aggressive, angry letter that turned into what I do now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. I have one
Oh,
called
I love that.
Sorry.
No, you good. You good, bro. You good.
Okay. This one's called The Still Pond. They called me the still pond, flat, unrippled. A mirror to the sky, they'd say. How serene, they'd sigh. How perfectly contained. But the mud beneath it thickened, a silent choking clay. The reeds they grew too dense, a tangled whispering gray. I held the sky's reflection, yes, a perfect painted scene. But the depths they knew a different truth, a stagnant shadowed dream. The sun had shone a distant warmth upon the glassy face, but down below the blind worms turned in a suffocating space. Then came the rustle, whispering wind, a ripple on the skin. A tremor in the stillness, a wet question from within. Is this all I asked? It asked with a murmur thin. This painted placid surface, this slow, decaying core. And fear a cold, dark water began to lap the shore. The reeds they swayed, a judgment cast. Disturbance, disarray. They clung to the old patterns, whispering, stay, stay, stay. But something in the muddy depths began to push and strain. A tiny fragile seedling rising from the pain. Discernment like a water bird with eyes of polished stone, it landed on the surface where the shallow truth were shown. It pecked away at the illusions, the myriad painted lies, and revealed the murky currents where the hidden danger lies. Not every ripple's a tempest, not every shift's a storm. Some changes bring the cleansing rain and keep the spirit warm. The water bird showed me this, with patient knowing grace, to separate the poison weeds from the seeds of fertile space. The mud is stirred, a churning dance, they struggle to be free. The old familiar comforts they thwart relentlessly. But the seedling, it was stronger, pushing towards the light, with roots that sought the deeper truth and wings prepared for flight. The pond it cracked, a shattered glass, the stillness broke apart. The water flowed, a rushing stream, a brand new beating heart. The reeds they shattered, some withered, some took root anew, along the banks of change, where wiser and stronger grew. No longer still, no longer flat, a river now I flow, though through the rivers carved by courage, where the wild bright flowers grow. The water bird, it lies beside, a constant guiding eye, reminding me that growth demands a willingness to try. And in the depths of the mud remains, but now it's fertile ground, where seeds of transformation bloom, and vibrant life is found. For even in the darkest depths there, where shadows used to reign, discernment guides the river's course and washes clean the pain.
That was really good. I love the flow of that.
Thank you. I just started writing allegories. I always wanted to write story like poems, and so those are my first couple allegories.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was like, I want to see that on a poster, like with a picture of a pond with trees and everything. Like, that was really good.
Yeah.
That was
Thank you.
All right.
What you thinking, Mel?
I, I'm always thinking about the origin.
For me, the
I'm
origin
always thinking
was,
about the origin. Like,
for me, I've learned that growth and change was very important, but I was at first, when I first decided to change my life, I thought I had to hold on to some things. Like I was trying to do the same things that I was already doing, but wasn't helping me go forward. So I needed to start using discernment. So that's what the poem was about for me. It was using discernment in order to have my growth and change and to become something more, um, to be some, also become something better. You know what I mean? And it's helped me. You know, when I think I wasn't very much of a thinker, I was always able to handle anything that came my way. So I didn't use proper discernment. You know what I mean? So basically, that's what it boils down to. It's just for me, for my growth and my change, I had to think better.
self-acknowledgement, self-reflection, and clarity, grasping a hold of that reality, and then saying, I'm gonna do something with this instead of letting it just go to waste. I can
Yeah.
relate.
I wasted a lot of time in my life. Not no more.
I love that one line.
I think a lot of us have. Yeah.
The seedling rising from the pain. I was like, oh, that's such good imagery. I love that.
Yeah. I was trying to match up with you guys. Yeah, you guys have the imagery thing going down. You got it going on. You do. And what's that other guy that's usually up here with us? That guy's really good too, man. He is great. Not International Rob, but the other guy. He's awesome.
Symbolic.
Yeah, man. He's
symbolic.
He brings you there. He bring you there. He definitely gives you the visual and all that. You know what I mean? And very intelligent.
I think he does spoken word. Like I think he actually does it publicly in travel.
It's been a lot of there's been a lot of dope people that came up here. You should go scroll down to my older stuff, my older like during the COVID IG virtuals. There were some people on there that sung. There were people on there that rap. They're not as active on IG anymore, but that would give you an idea of how long I've been doing this, how long, like, you just don't really know who you're going to come across until you're in that position. So I don't know. I've been hooked on it ever since, you know, and I'm just grateful that I get to share these memories with all of y'all. So
yeah, it's amazing.
I believe Sydney, the last one.
All right.
I believe the last one is on you.
Okay. So this is called Nothingness. The bang of life drumming inside us tells us we are beautiful. We are special. We are God's gift to this earth. Yet we are nothing. We are as nothing as the grains upon this rock, prescribed to this endless hourglass. Our movements are constantly wiped away by the force, moving lands, culling forests, deleting entire generations, with nothing but the gradual nudge, the slow, inevitable, endless march, the lonely and life-giving parade. Tick, tick, tick. Hush goes the world. Again, again, again. Disasters pass like comets in an ocean of stars. Wars fall silent against the background of existence. A single life is a mere speckle on the ribbon of forever. Time allows nothing but repetition to remain. As children of desperation, we long to make ripples in the perpetual river. Vying desperately for the invisible spotlight, we haphazardly etch the beautiful reflections of ourselves into the crystal curtains of the universe, longing for our essence to pervade, only to again be polished away, for we are nothing more than sand.
Okay. Yeah. Very good.
I felt like I had to go with the theme. So
I'm really gonna miss you guys. I really am, man. You know, I've never ever publicly read my stuff. I've left my poems in the public for people to find them, but I've never read them myself. And I really wish that I had more time, man, because this is really, really. I hope I can come back again. I do.
to answer Sasha's question, I wrote this
You
because
always
I
right.
wanted to kind of speak to the insignificance of human life. And I think it was probably I wrote this one in like 2023 or 2024, so it's been a while. But I wanted to speak to the sense of like meaningless of life, and the aspect that like we all want to be all that, like we want to be famous, we want to be somebody, like we want to make our mark on this world. But even if you're famous, like even if you're like the president or like George Washington, and like somebody that makes huge impacts on the culture, like in the grand scheme of things, like there's still nothing. In a billion years, nobody's going to remember us. Nobody's going to remember anything that's been written. And so, yeah, I just wanted to kind of encapsulate that feeling, and also bring more of like a spirituality to it, where it's like, it's okay if you don't have a chance to like make your mark on the world. Like you're still a part of existence. And so like make the most of it while you're here.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
MJ started the waterworks about how it would be if her father could feel what she feels. Then Don devastated us. Then Sydney talks about how legacy matters little at the end. We're so insignificant. Yeah.
Shout out to Sasha.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, Sasha's breaking it down for us. Yeah.
summary.
Yeah. Thank you, Sasha. Glad you're here with us.
Absolutely.
Thank
She's
you,
a
everyone.
regular supporter. It's always nice to see her.
Thank you, everyone. This has been quite an experience for me. These last few.
I hope to see you both on Discord so I don't lose track of you guys.
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. And
I
hopefully
got plans. I got plans for San Diego, so you may see my name out there one day. I'm hoping to become a pastor, believe it or not. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, and if
I
I do that, there's some things I need to do there. You know, so
Awesome.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'm loving that, man. I wish the best in all your endeavors, sir. This isn't the last time we're gonna see you up here, or MJ. I'm certain of it. This just passing by. We have things that we got to take care of. Eventually, I would like to believe that we're going to eventually merge again, and you know, that's the beauty about this, man. You build connections and things of that nature with people that you wouldn't often do, and that's the ultimate goal and message behind these streams, man. I try to tell everybody that when I post or whatever, I make my threads, and you know, people ghost read or they just, you know, but it's really a thing. This actually happens. No one's really competing with the other person up here. We just having a good time, you know, and I enjoyed this. This was a good Friday to close out the week.
you guys are beautiful humans. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
Same.
Just before we go, I just
will
wanted to
be
mention
back
I put it in the
tomorrow.
private. Oh, sorry. I put it in the private chat, but there's a writing poetry class thing that I'm in right now. But I put it in there in case you guys were interested. They help you write a poetry book. And so by the end, you'll actually have like a fully formed poetry book, and
Oh, neat.
they introduce you to like publishers and stuff. So if you guys are interested in creating a poetry book, that would be a really, really good resource for you guys.
Thank you. I took a picture of that, so that way I'd have that. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool.
And let me do that. I follow them, so yeah, I'm gonna definitely.
Are we following each other, MJ, by chance, on Instagram or anything?
We are. So you're
Okay, cool.
following like it would be under Mojo's Groove. That was like
Okay,
my
okay.
original one. Yeah. And then like, so I made a new one so that way it can be strictly, I'm not consuming on there. I'm not like scrolling through. It's just, I post stuff and I leave. But MJ's Groove, I feel like is where I keep my community of people that I just really vibe well with. So,
Yeah.
And I can
Well,
support stuff and things like that. So
I would just like anybody on here that's been part of this right here to keep in touch with me, because like I said, I might be gone for a bit, but just keep watching my art if you could, and I'll be looking out for your guys' art. And I'm gonna go on to Discord to keep track with Sydney, because she's awesome, and of course Mel. We talk almost every day, so
Just so the viewers know, because y'all, there's people who that I be on the phone with, or I have conversation off, and y'all act and swear y'all know everything about what I do up here. You don't know shit.
Hmm.
You don't know what happens behind screen, off camera. You don't know who I talk to and who I don't talk to. All you know is who comes up here on the show. So y'all could just stop with creating your own narratives and forming your own opinions about what goes on here and there. Like, stop it. Just get you some help, get you some life, and you know what I'm saying.
Cut it out.
Appreciate it
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Mhm.
We'll be back. I'm on that helmet all weekend. Y'all will see me again tomorrow. I don't know how many times, but you will see me tomorrow. Do me a solid before y'all leave, though.
Push the goddamn button.
Yeah, hit it.
It only takes a couple. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, man. I'm about to get back into promo mode. I will talk to some of y'all soon later, but good night. I ain't ate nothing yet, so I'm about to go find me something to eat.
Too.
okay,
And
me
yeah.
neither.
Yeah, I gotta eat right now. I got homemade macaroni and cheese waiting for me.
Oh, that sounds so good. I think we
Yeah,
could
yeah.
burger fries.
Mhm. Yeah. All right, guys. Much love. Peace.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
See you Monday.
Hey,
Mom.
all right. Hold on a minute. Where is it? Boom. Oh, wrong one. I didn't mean for that one. Sorry, guys. This is the one that I want right here.
Pyramus, Hennessy, Whiskey, Don, Christian Dior, East Saint Laurent, bitch whirling that drop on the floor. Then I just hop in the rolls and scoot. Then I just hop in the rolls and scoot. Then I just hop in the rolls. I am the sickle and hammer. I am like Tony Montana. I got Betty Crocker in the trash spot, cooking up dope with a crop pot, turning that soft in a butter rock, then chewing tip when the hair drops.